Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. Hello there, it's Brad. The Empowerography Live Conference 2026 is happening live and in person for the first time here in Toronto in April of 2026. This is your chance to step fully into your power over 2.5 incredible days. You'll hear from 30 plus inspiring speakers, join hands-on workshops, and connect with women from around the world who are ready to grow, learn, and rise together. This isn't just an event. This is an experience that will leave you motivated, empowered, and ready to take action. Seats are limited, so head to my website and secure your spot today. All the information will be in the show notes, and we look forward to seeing you in April. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest is Tammy Cohen. Tammy is the founder of TC Brand Consulting, a podcast host, the founder of Women Beyond the Table Network and Community, and also an award-winning author. Welcome, Tammy. How are you doing today?
Hi, Brad. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. I am so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for taking and making the time to be here with me today. This is our second attempt at this. We had some technical issues on the prior attempt, so I am grateful that all the tech is working. The tech gods are shining down upon us, and we are finally here to be able to do
my
this
gosh.
today.
Yeah, I was like, oh, do I help it work this time?
So here we are. Thank you for taking and making the time to be here with me today. I'm so excited to jump in. So with that being said, let us jump right in. So, Tammy, you've helped brands define their mission, their core values. What is the mission statement of your own life right now?
That I have the power to change the world one message at a time, and it starts with love.
I love that. Love is the highest vibration on the planet, and we need more of that, definitely. I love it. So if someone asked you to describe the energy behind TC Brand Consulting, not the mission statement, but more like the heartbeat of it, what would that be?
The heartbeat of it for me is that I'm here to be your messenger. It's just the prophet.
Yeah.
So I'm the messenger. So my role is I don't see business different from the person who started that business, who's running that business, or the team that's in that business. I see it as you have your personal and professional statements and the way you come across. They're interrelated. So what is the message that you're trying to get out? And who are you talking to? That's, for me, that's like the energy of, I want to know who you are. Why are you doing this? And what do you like about your audience? What do you want them to know? And it's really simple. I don't get very complicated.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
That's always the way. We as human beings tend to complicate the shit out of everything and make it so much more difficult than it actually has to be.
One of the hardest things for me, and I've had to work on this, is just to ask a question, because I have an assessment and just listen to what the person's actually saying. Because you hear a lot more if you just listen, and they're not really asking you to weigh in or to give any advice. They just want you to hear and then absorb it and then think about it. So as somebody, as a human designer, is a projector, I was always like, let me tell you what I think. And I never realized that most people really, it's not like they want to know what you think. They're interested in for you to listen to them, sit on it, and then come back and say, you told me this. So here, let's talk about that. And it's more than the judgment thing or solving problems. I'm not here to solve your problem. I'm here to listen and to help you refine maybe certain things. But
love it. So what parallels then do you see between building a powerful brand and building a powerful human being?
That's one of my favorite questions. So interrelated, huh?
Absolutely. Because we are our brands.
Yeah.
The people are the brand.
I mean, thank God, at the end of the day, businesses are a human. We're human beings, and every human
Yeah.
being wants to feel a connection and a trust point. Whether you're the
Mhm.
purchaser or whoever you are, you want to know, I trust that.
Yeah.
I trust that brand, but really you're trusting the people behind the brand. And
Yeah.
it's not just one person a lot of times, of course, behind the brand. There's a person who started the company, but the team around them. So I want to trust that they care.
Yeah.
And I want to know that they stand behind themselves and that they're authentic and they're honest and that maybe they do good things too. It's like you want to communicate these things. And I think that's the parallel is that's why I look at people's vision and the core values and all this stuff also, because it's really interrelated into how you do business. Are you just there to maximize numbers? Because you know what? That doesn't work. And how do your people feel around you? Are they vested in what they're doing? Do they want to help the customer, or they just want to get the hell out of your be done working?
Yeah.
What's going on? So I think there's a lot of parallels between the person and the brand and what it stands for. And I just want to add one thing. I know we live in a very digital world right now, and everything's digital. I was on a roundtable yesterday listening to a very brilliant person named Amnat Sharma, and he was talking about how a lot of what's happening with digital is you're taking the humanity out of things.
Yeah.
And really AI should be doing like the dishes so that it can free you up so that you can think and share. And what's happening is people using AI to think for them so they have more time to do the dishes. And
which is backwards.
Yeah. And I was like, that's so brilliant. And I didn't really think about it. But yeah, we have to bring the humanity back into how we talk, our business. People don't want to have in-person, they don't want to have a conversation. They don't want to do this. However, you know what, Brad? I'm like of the age, maybe it's a generational thing, and it probably is, that when I want to speak with somebody in the company that I've done business with or purchased something from, I want to speak to somebody.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't want to be reading 12 articles and speaking with like trying to get something out of a bot, because we're wasting my time. And not only that, it could be resolved much quicker. But studies show, and this has been shown over and over again, you could have bought a product that was not good. It's not a good product. But the customer service and that person was so good, and they listened and they helped you, that you have a really positive feeling, right? It's all about feeling. Really, most
for sure.
You have such a positive feeling about that company, even though the product wasn't great. You'll buy something from them again because that service, they cared about you, they took care of you, made all the difference. And I think that's what people have to realize. Like, tech isn't going to do it for you.
No.
You have to
creating an excellent customer experience.
Yeah. You're a human being, and the person who's buying from you is a human. At the end of the day, let's be human beings.
Yeah, let's connect.
Right.
It's about relatability and connection. Yeah. That's everything, for sure. How do you balance authenticity with strategy when you're creating a brand or crafting a brand, and where's the line between staying real and staying relevant?
Such good questions. Real, I think when you are real, you are relevant. For me, I think the best thing anybody can do is you be who you are.
Yes.
You don't try to be somebody else. You don't try to be me too. I've noticed a lot of companies look at what another company is doing. Oh, that works. So I'm going to do it too. Or I'm going to do that too. I'm going to try that too, because that works. Now, I'm not saying not to try things, and especially if you're seeing it working, but I'm saying that you have to be yourself. You have to know yourself. And that authenticity, I know that's a buzzword and it's overused. Yeah. Like when you're being yourself and you're being honest, people say, okay, you're being honest.
It creates relatability.
I trust that. And that's relevant. Your honesty is your relevancy. And I think it's, like I said, I think that it's very parallel. They go together. If you're going to try to be something else or fake, that's not relevant.
People will be able to pick up on that shit right away too, though. They'll know that you're being inauthentic. You're not being real.
And it's not relevant to what you're doing. Unless you're trying, I don't know, unless I know the specific, what you're trying, your end game is. But for strategy, I always say the best strategy is the most honest and straightforward one. And don't take all these different detours. Just walk the closest distance between 2 points is the line, like a straight line. Yeah. Don't go that way and that. Like, just figure out what your straight line is and walk it.
Yeah, love that. And so, what do you think is one of the most overlooked aspects of storytelling and branding that can make or break a company's connection to its audience?
Okay, as somebody who's been trying to work on storytelling, so I was always the type that I could start a conversation and tell a
Hmm.
story, but I never got to the point of the story. I was too busy. I'm like your friend. I like just off and talking. And the thing is like when you have an objective and you're sharing, you're telling a story, there's a way to start
Hmm.
where you're engaging, and you come back to you tie it together, you come back to the beginning. And what is it that you're trying to impart? And I think really good storytellers, okay, they understand who they're talking to. So the story is directed to that audience. It's not just
Hmm.
the standard keynote or the standard story.
Yeah.
And they, from the beginning, the first opener becomes relevant to the audience. The audience is already, okay, you're asking me a question. You're
Hmm.
bringing me in somehow. But that the story takes them and you're sharing about yourself, but it brings them back to what drew you into the story in the first place. And
Right.
what do I want from this story? What do I want to leave this audience with? Is
Yeah.
there a call to action, or I just want to give them a feeling? What did Maya Angelou say? It doesn't really matter what you're saying, it's how you make people feel. What do I
That's
want to
right.
make people feel? So, how does a story evolve and make
Hmm.
people feel what you want them to do? And people who feel and get connected, they'll take the next step with you.
Yeah, for sure. They'll invest their time, their money,
So,
energy,
exactly.
everything.
That's what a good
Yeah.
storyteller will do. We'll put it together. Whereas me, I'm just like, oh, like people will say to me, "I love talking to you, but what are we? What's the point of what we're talking about?" Like, I don't know, but it's fun. Yeah.
When you help a brand find its voice, what's your process for pulling the soul out of the strategy?
Why the soul really starts with the person who I'm speaking to, whether it's the business owner, it's a small business, or they have a team. Yeah, I've got to talk to the team too. So, what is the soul? Is really the embodiment of the passion. Like, why are you doing this? What's always been interesting to me, Brad, is that I'll be like, "Can you tell me 5 things that you love about your business? Just 5 things. Like,
Hmm.
can you tell me 5 things you know about your audience that you love about your audience?" Because this is where the soul comes in.
Right.
This is why I wake up in the morning. This is what I love. This is why I do
Hmm.
this. It's this has been my family legacy. What it means to me to carry this is the soul. It's not
Yeah.
the product. It's this is what you're imparting, right? So I think when we're working on messaging and incorporating that, the first thing I want to know is why? Your
Yeah.
why for what's your why for doing anything? I'm doing this so I can afford my kids' college education. That's a
Hmm.
beautiful soul thing. Like I love my children and I want to do everything I can to give them the best. And that's why I show up every day here. And
Yeah.
even from the team perspective, like why are you invested in this? What do you get out
Hmm.
of this company? What do they do for you that you love? And
Yeah.
they tell you, and that comes into the story, like from the people who work for you and what you embody as a business. So that's a
Hmm.
soul. That's it. And
Okay.
you have to ask
Okay.
questions.
Yeah, for sure. To get to the bottom of it. Absolutely. And so when you think about the woman you were in your early career, what part of her still lives inside you today? And what part did you have to outgrow to become who you are now?
Okay. That woman, my younger self, had many limiting beliefs and
Hmm.
self sabotaging behavior, which probably will always be a thing, looking for validation and not knowing how to ask. Also, I come from a generation of where it's like it's that baby boomer. What do we call it, Gen Y or something? I don't know. That crossover where it's like the boss says jump and you're like, how high?
Hmm.
Because you can't do enough. Because
Yeah.
and it's like you throw yourself into it and you think, oh yeah, they're gonna treat me because I work so hard.
Hmm.
And that a lot of that stuff, I'm glad to say that I've moved away from it. And now I'm more about what stayed with me was what the work ethic, except now I think I'm trying to not look at big pictures so much and worry about anything in the future. Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? Is this going to come true? Is that not? And going more into just what's the next step? Just
Mhm.
taking the next step. So I've calmed
Yeah.
down with that, and I'm not worrying about it. I think, tell you the truth, there's not as much that stayed with me over the years because I'm doing this a long time.
Yeah.
But the evolution has been good for me to give myself more grace and not be so self-judgmental and judgmental of others and
Mhm.
situations and getting discouraged as easily.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's a
That
journey and things are take
Mhm.
time and nothing, because something hasn't happened. There's that book where a friend of mine was like, I had a call with a friend and we were talking about, she was like, there's this great book called The Gap in the Gain. And I hadn't read it. I was like, that's really interesting. So tell me what that means. Most of us live in the gap, like what we haven't accomplished or what we still need to
Yeah.
do to get to a goal, and how we're hitting ourselves almost because we didn't accomplish enough. We didn't get enough done. We didn't hit the goal yet. What are we doing? And we don't look at the gain, everything we've gained so far, everything we've gotten accomplished. So I think that's where the shift has gone for me, is just saying, wow, I did that step and I did that step. And tomorrow
Mhm.
I'll do these 2 steps instead of what haven't I done? Why is
Yeah.
it taking so long? And what am I going to do? So it's a different kind of way of thinking. And I think that's the best thing that's happened to me over the last many years.
Yeah, for sure. We are our own biggest critics. We are the hardest on ourselves. And it's about giving ourselves grace and space, and living in the present moment is so important because we get so caught up in either living in the past, which is pointless because you can't change it. You can't do anything about it. It's already happened. And the future hasn't even fucking arrived yet. So what are you freaking for?
I know. I used to worry about stuff. And one day, one of my mentors was like, why? It hasn't happened.
Hmm?
What if it never happens? And you're just wasting all this time
Exactly.
stressing out. Oh my God. I never won't.
Yeah.
I just assume this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Like,
It hit you
but you
like a
know
ton of
what,
bricks.
Brad? We can manifest stuff into happening too. And there's a
Yes, we
whole thing
can.
about that, like about the brain. The brain doesn't know
Hmm.
this happened or that happened. It's what you tell yourself.
Nope.
So yeah, you do attract certain energy, and that's what I started realizing is I got to stop.
Yeah,
I'm bringing it
for
on.
sure.
I don't bring
Yeah,
it on.
absolutely.
Yeah,
We create our realities.
exactly. So I'm really glad that
100%.
I started like also working on some of those limiting thoughts, because I realized I was surrounding myself in those kind of situations. It's like a
Yeah.
self-fulfilling prophecy, because that's what my
Hmm.
mind was directing me to.
Exactly. So what was the very first moment that you realized you had a natural instinct for connecting people? And did you recognize it as a gift right away or in hindsight?
You know what? I started recognizing that I was good at networking and meeting people and all that stuff. When a friend of mine once said to me out of nowhere, she was always on the shyer side, and she said, you can meet people like talking over about a cucumber in the vegetable section of a supermarket, and your friends, like over a cucumber. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, yeah, that's like natural for me. So what happened was when the pandemic started and
Hmm.
we were all shut down, and of course virtual became a thing. And usually
Hmm.
everything was more in person before that, like
Yeah.
conferences, that's where you hooked up with the people. And
Hmm.
we were more like emails and got on the phone because
Yeah.
before the pandemic. So that changed a lot. And I started thinking too, I still want to be able to speak with people. So how am I going to do this and keep doing it? And that's how Women Be on the Table started, because I was like, wow, this is a time God wants us to shut down and think, like, work on ourselves, but also
Hmm.
maybe level up, because we have time to level up a little bit and learn things and maybe do things differently. So I was like, wouldn't it be nice is to like have people who you were in a group with and you trusted, they had skill sets, they knew how to do digital, they knew how to do tab, they understood websites, they understood content writing. I don't have those skills. So
Right.
wouldn't that be a great thing? So I told a couple of colleagues, like, hey, I'm thinking like of doing a call. They're like, you should do it. It's a great idea and people will come. And that's what
Hmm.
happened. But I realized that I'm terrible at matching people for love. Like I put people
Hmm.
together to go on a date and they hate each other. But I was really like, when it came to business, I was like, you guys got to talk.
Yeah.
And I just liked it. Like it was fun for
Hmm.
me. So I make
Yeah.
those kind of relationships and I'll introduce people because I enjoy it. Like I'm like,
Hmm.
you guys, you would like this person. And I realized most of networking is leveraging social capital. It's not about business, really. It's
No.
about, I can introduce you to somebody who knows the answer to the question you have. And they can
Connection is currency.
somebody.
Yeah, connection is currency for sure.
And it means a lot. And I've seen people in our network, 40% of the women started exchanging services just because they trusted each other and they liked each other. And I started also realizing just because you meet somebody now, there's no coincidences to why you're talking to somebody. And 4 years down the road, you can wind up collaborating. And and I know collaboration's another buzzword, but I really like that idea of people get together and they're like, let's help each other. I don't want to compete with you. I'm not looking to judge you, and I'm not looking to take your idea. But I'm good at this and you're good at that, so let's come together. And that's a lot of what networking is too.
Yeah, for sure. There is no feeling like being able to connect two people and then see them collaborate and work together and create magic together, or they form a friendship or a bond. Yeah. It's such an amazing thing to be able to facilitate for people. It really is. It's beautiful. It's powerful. Connection is truly currency. It's everything. Community is everything. Collaboration. We cannot do this thing called life alone. We need to do it in collaboration, in community with one another. There's no other way.
There's no other way. And there's so many people who are really very good people, and it's pay it forward, where I'll put people together, they'll be doing business, and they'll turn around and say, you made this happen. I don't ask for anything. I don't say, some people say, I need 10% of you. I don't ask for it. And they're like, we want to do something for you. No charge. Yeah. Because you were nice and you did this. And I'm like, are you kidding? Because it's a win-win. I respect your time. I don't expect you to not charge it. No. And I'm always like, wow, that's so kind. And they're like, what do you mean? You put us together. We're doing business. I just look at it like it's a niceness, but it does come forward. It's a karma wheel.
For sure it is. Absolutely. It's just doing it out of the goodness of your heart, just because you enjoy seeing people connect, and that's it. And relationships starting. It's so powerful. And so what has connection taught you about yourself?
It's funny because I was always the least connected to myself. And one of the things that helped me really get past that and connect and myself and everything was two things. One is I started messaging my boys, which was the base, became became 2 books. And I realized that God, whatever reason I started doing this it's already years already, was really, I was messaging myself the whole time. When I was messaging them love and gratitude, which of course, and sharing and mindset and resilience and accountability, I was talking to myself. And I didn't even realize how much it meant until this past year when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, how much I needed to work on myself and connect more to myself and do some of my own inner work. And this has really been a journey. I was never able to ask for anything. If somebody wanted to do something for me, I was like, no, and then, or if they gave me a compliment, I was like, no, I'd make a joke about myself. I just couldn't, I wasn't that person.
Couldn't receive.
I couldn't receive. And also it was hard for me to empathize, really feel empathy and compassion for people because I didn't have any for myself. So you tell me a sad story and I'd say, oh, that's sad. That's very sad. But I didn't feel it. But going through cancer and all that stuff, I started feeling empathy because I saw how empathetic and how kind people were. And I started asking for help. And people gave that. And they wanted to. And I said, wow, it just opened up a lot of different channels for me that were closed. And it also connected me more deeply to God.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that receiving piece, that's a tough one for a lot of people. I'm working on that, and I'm 2 years into that, learning, being self-aware about it and realizing that I need to do the work on this, because you also, when you don't know how to, or you don't receive, you're breaking that cycle between giving and receiving. It has to continue. You have to keep that cycle going, giving, receiving, giving, receiving. It's a cyclical thing. So if you can't do one, you're breaking that cycle.
100%. And also, I come from a generation where, if you receive and you take, you're selfish.
Yeah.
Good people don't do that. You should be selfless. And then I remember learning that you really think of yourself less, because if you're just giving all the time and you can't receive anything, what's going to happen? You can't take care of people.
Nope.
Nobody really appreciates the giver all the time. It's just they don't.
That's right. Yep.
So taking care of yourself and receiving is really, it's a very highest form of self-care. And if you don't take care of
For
yourself,
sure.
who's going to? At the end of the day.
Very true. Because it all starts with us. We are the foundation for everything. We are the relationship we have with ourselves is the most important and longest standing relationship we'll ever have in our entire lives. Is that one with self.
That's so deep. That's so true. And that's the longest relationship you've ever had. Right. That's right. I mean, you looked at that's brilliant.
Yeah, sure.
And it really
it's
does
so
ripple.
important.
It really ripples because
Yes.
I remember when with messaging my sons and stuff, like when you start like channeling in and giving these kind of like love and higher energy frequency things, now you start embodying it, but you start having that with everybody, like your community. Like when I speak to people, it's not just like colleagues or connection. Like anybody, I'm like, you're extraordinary. Do you understand who you are? I see you. You matter.
Yeah.
You know, and
yes.
I never was that kind of person because I was too much like I was too much judging, but also I was measuring myself a lot. They have this, I don't have that. They're over here.
Comparisonitis.
Oh yeah. And now I don't do that. I'm more like, so happy for you. This is look what you've achieved. Look who you are, and every time you take a step, yay. And it's a different way of thinking, and it's amazing. It's extraordinary because you just start giving yourself, like I said, more grace. It ripples everywhere. You start thinking.
Absolutely.
You start noticing stuff when you said about being present. Like all of a sudden, I would see, like something. There was like on the chalk on the thing. You're beautiful. I never. Like you walk on the street, you don't look at things or God loves you. There's a sign that said God loves you. I never saw it. I lived in Manhattan since the 1980s. I was also born in Manhattan. I moved out when we were kids, and my parents moved to Long Island. But I moved out back in 1985. It's been here a long time. Walking the same streets, never noticed things. Like signs everywhere, like inspirational things. And I was like, look at that. Maybe I'm seeing it because I feel different.
You're awakened.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. That's so powerful. Let's jump into Beyond the Table. What does Beyond the Table truly mean to you? And why is it so important to create a space that exists beyond what already existed?
Beyond the Table came about when I was thinking of a name for the group, Women Beyond the Table. I was thinking of the Knights of the Round Table. For some reason, I was thinking, and I was like, okay, I like that. But women have always been serving the table. The men were seated there. And then they were they let them sit at the table. They gave them a seat at the table. That's good. That's really good. I go, but let's go beyond that. So now it's interesting because I've been leading this, founding this, working with this network for years. And at the end of this year, at the end of 2025, I'm moving on because it's like, I have a different mission and a different journey. And I realize it's okay when you're doing some growth and evolving, it's okay. Things change. But the women, they're still very much a community. Like and we're still going to, of course, do stuff and do things together. So the podcast that we started from Women Beyond the Table, we're changing it all up because the podcast is going to go forward and it's going to be build your own effing table.
Fucking table.
Yeah. Just build whatever table you want. Like, just do it. Yeah. And how do you do that? And we're going to have men on.
Awesome.
Yeah. But we're going to do it very different. It's a different format because we want to do shorter interviews, YouTube, like spice them up, like lightning round kind of questions. Like, who would you like? What's the worst thing that ever happened to you? What's the one thing you tell your younger self? Like, give it to us. Like, boom, like that. So, we're working it through, and I'm excited for new beginnings because I was always afraid of new beginnings, but I think it's okay to have new beginnings at any age. Believe me.
Absolutely. I love that. Love it. So when you look around the tables of leadership, business, and opportunity today, what do you believe is still missing for women? And how are you working to change that?
Oh, wow. I think it's very telling. See, there's the corporate world, which I'm not part of. Okay, I'm on the outside of that. The women I hang out with mostly are small business owners because they're the women who were in corporate and they said,
no more of this bullshit.
I'm doing my own thing. I'm doing what lights me up. I'm at the point in my life where I can. And
Mhm.
I actually just spoke with an amazing woman who started doing this 2008 before
Mhm.
she's like a trailblazer. And people
Yeah.
were telling her, are you crazy? Nobody's going to work with you. Like I had a lawyer friend who did the same thing. And she was very respected and she had great relationships in a law firm. And the minute she wanted to go and work from home, because of children,
Yeah.
they were like, nobody's going to work with you. You're not a law
Mhm.
firm. And she's, but you do. I've been legal counsel and you always wanted to work with me in this law firm. Now you won't work with me because I'm not in the law firm. Like this kind of mentality. And a lot of women get sucked into it. Also,
Mhm.
unfortunately, from what I understood from friends of mine who are in the corporate world, they're like, women are really great at mentoring each other. But when it comes to sponsoring for
Mhm.
a higher position, and now like we're talking C-suite and stuff,
Yeah.
they'll sponsor the man because the man has a better chance of being accepted
Mhm.
into if they're recommending than a woman, which was
Right.
very surprising to me. But on the flip side, with women who are starting their own new businesses and they come from corporate, it's they used to having teams who they
Mhm.
delegate certain things to and everything, and now they're like, I got to do everything, and I like, where do I start? So there's pros and cons to both sides. What do I think is missing? And I think there
Mhm.
aren't enough, like I said, women leaders out there who are in C-suite position. I think
Yeah.
less now. I also think it's still there's still a place where women won't step up because they're like,
Mhm.
wow, these are the qualifications. I'm 95% qualified, but I'm missing 5%, so I won't even try.
Mhm.
Where a man will be 60% qualified and he'll go for it
Yeah.
because
For sure.
he I can do this.
Confident. Yep.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
we still have that. We don't want to ask.
Yeah.
And I've seen women who are really qualified and they'll take a lower position and less
Mhm.
salary because they want to get back in the door and they just diminish themselves.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of those kind of things going on. I think there's a lot of men out there who are becoming more allies, more aware.
Mhm.
And but I think there's still a lot of change that has to happen, and that's in leadership itself,
For sure.
empathetic leadership. Shirzad Shamin has an amazing program called Positive Intelligence,
Mhm.
where the core idea of it is understanding your self saboteurs and shifting from your left side of your brain to your right side, which is your sage, and
Mhm.
teaching leaders how to have empathy,
Yeah.
how to have compassion, but instead of if a problem happens and problems do arise, like instead of judging, turning around
Mhm.
and getting curious. Let's get curious together. Like, what happened? Let's figure this out together. And
Yeah.
then the whole way of innovation, of innovating, where you're listening to the ideas of other people. You're not sitting
Mhm.
there in your head going, that's the really stupidest idea I've ever heard, thinking about your idea, how you could, like, what's your idea? But finding 10%, just 10% of
Mhm.
what people are saying and saying, I like this that you said. And how about
Mhm.
if we do this? And then there's also the navigation, which is one of my favorite things because it's what are your core values? Like
Mhm.
sticking to who you are, like what are your values? What do you stand for? And is this resonate? Are we resonating in here? And then, of course, activation, which is always anticipating you're going to have saboteurs and letting go of judgment of each other, of yourself, and of the situation. Okay. Trying to be
Mhm.
judge free, but taking us, what's the next small step that we can agree on and take together?
Yeah.
And what's
For
the
sure.
buy-in? I think leaders need to go through more training with that.
Yeah.
And I don't think going to a retreat, honestly, and a kumbaya 3-day event, which is beautiful and everybody comes out charged up, but they don't
Mhm.
stay in it. The
No, it's
culture
not
takes that.
lasting.
And I think you need programs that are more lasting and more follow
Mhm.
up. And I don't think human resources is the team to do this. I think you need individual teams to do it. And I also think that in companies, whether they're big or small, that you need to train the middle management better. People tend to
Yeah.
get into middle management because they're good sellers or they bring
Mhm.
in business, but that doesn't mean they manage people well or
No,
they can tap into
absolutely.
talent. And I think you have to have somewhat of coaching skills to be a good leader, not
For
to do
sure.
the job for them, but to make them shine and to also understand what are their needs. So I was at this very cool event from Book Thinkers in Boston, And there was a man speaking named Larry Hodges, and he said the difference today is in hiring, because people like the workforce not getting great people in,
Yeah.
and I think what was really cool was that he said you have to understand, like in our generation, people hiring you were like, "What are you going to do for me?"
Yeah.
Now, when you're with your team, who you're hiring, they want to know, "What are you going to do for me?" So that I can buy into this. I stay vested. I think leadership needs to tap in a little bit. What do the women need from me to shine? What do I need to provide? What do we need to be more as a functioning team? And a lot of women need different things than men need. And the successful leader, whether it's a woman or a man, will identify that and tap into it. So I think there's a long way to go. And like I said, not in the corporate world, but I can only talk about, and the women who are running small businesses are all pretty much tuned into this, because that's why they left in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, there's still a fair bit of work to do, but I think that we're starting to move in the right direction, and things are shifting. It's just there's more work to do for sure. Absolutely. On both sides, men as allies and women.
Yeah.
We both need to pitch in and do the work, because all the men in the world can't do it by themselves, and all the women in the world can't do it by themselves. We have to do it together in unity with one another. That's the only way we're going to be able to accomplish anything of huge impact, is to work together, shoulder to shoulder.
I agree. I think, and I also believe, like, men are men. You have there's the XY chromosomes, and women are women.
Yes.
You know what? We don't think the same. Nope. And so you have to be able to verbalize like what you need to. So I remember once I said to my husband, I was like, dude, he goes, "What do you want from me? What do you expect? Tell me what you want. I don't know what you want. What do you think I'm a mind reader? Like what?" And it goes back to the ancient world. Okay, so our brains are still ancient. So the men went out and they protected and they provided. They hunted and they protected. And the women were taking care of the family. They were the healers. They were taking care of the kids. Kids fell in the fire. They had to get the kid out. They had to prepare. They had to also feed the hunter because he brought the food. Right now, like, that's still what you're dealing with. Providers and protectors and the multitaskers. So you're expecting the guy to see everything around you and pitch in. They don't see it because the providers and they're hunters. They'll notice that the garbage has to go out. They're not looking at the environment. So we have to start like talking to each other more.
Yes, for sure.
And saying, like,
communication is key.
Need. And what do humans mostly want? Validation, love, and safety. So what do I need to feel safe in this job? What do I need to provide at home or to be there for my kids? What do I need so I can tell you, so we can set this up? I'll give you whatever you want. Like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Make it work for me. Because I see a lot of the opposite, where people get stressed out. They can't even think anymore. And there's no help.
Yeah, for sure. What do you want women to feel the moment they join Women Beyond the Table for the first time?
Oh, that it's a space where women are nice. They're kind. They're not judging you. They don't care what you make. I had people come in, join a call, because we're very authentic in everything we do. And the first thing she said to me after the call, because we're like, "What do you think? Are you interested in joining?" Like, unless the women are each making at least $250,000 a year in their earning and this and that, it's not my cup of tea. And I'm like, then I guess this isn't your cup of tea.
Yeah,
you can't have qualified. They don't qualify. I'm like, look, there are plenty of groups that service that. Like, for us, it's a sisterhood, it's a community, it's where everybody feels comfortable asking each other a question or for help. They get together on their own. They have a coffee, they have a chat.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And people always say to me, like, I love the vibe because it's like, I feel comfortable. And that's what all we ever want, is for people to feel comfortable. Yeah, of course we want you to do business with each other if it's there, but it's not prerequisite. I tell people, if you're joining the Women Beyond Table because you think you're going to get 75 new business members, like people buying from you, that's not going to happen. It takes time. But that's, I think, with any network. So basically it is community, and that's our vibe.
I love it. So speaking of sisterhood, how do you personally define sisterhood in the professional world, in the entrepreneurial world?
Oh, I provide it as cheering each other on. Okay. The collaboration word, because I find that entrepreneurs, like with female entrepreneurs, when it's when you click and you get together and you talk, the energy is just incredible. When you sit in the room
Mm,
with women who are like excited and who want
yeah.
to engage and help each other and talk to each other, it's very exciting. One of the things that would be on table we do is we list the in-person events. We list because
Mm,
that energy also of women coming together and lighting each other up is great. And you don't really feel like, I don't know how, I think networking between men and women is very different too. But I think,
hmm
and men though, I always found what was interesting is when they network, they do business.
Yeah.
Women, when we network and the sisterhood thing is we talk to each other differently. We talk about kids
hmm
first. We'll talk about relationships or we'll find
Yeah.
something in common. We don't get to business first. We never do.
Yeah.
It takes a little
hmm
time. So I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. That to me, that's where you have that female energy
hmm
and female energy coming together like that. You feel, yeah, I can talk to this woman. I could be friends with this woman. I want to continue a relationship.
Yeah, for sure. So, if Women Beyond the Table had a manifesto, what single sentence would capture its soul?
Oh, we are a business network with a soul.
Okay. Perfect. Beautiful. So, let's talk about text messages to my sons. That is an incredibly powerful title. Where did the spark for that come from?
That's a really good question. So it was the first pandemic because
Mhm.
breast cancer was my personal second pandemic. It's like very
Right.
similar. You're stuck. But
Yeah.
first pandemic, we were shut down, and I was like, wow, I'm not okay. I'm not happy in my life.
hmm
I was traveling for work for clients 2 weeks out of every month because I was running away, and all of my
hmm
validation came through my work. So when the pandemic happened and work slowed and financially things changed really quickly,
hmm
I didn't feel good, but I never felt really great in my relationships or marriage or anything. And I didn't really like where I was headed. But I was like, wow, you know what? I can start doing things differently. Maybe I need to work on myself. That was the first inkling that I had. And I'd gone to psychologists and sort out therapy before, but it was always like, I always felt like the psychologist talking to me because I have this thing about making everybody friends. Okay.
Right.
So I never really got to the root like me. I wasn't talking about me. I was like asking, how are you? And what's going on in your life?
hmm
So I started thinking, okay, I need to work on some stuff. So I did Alicia Power Within. I was in Mind Valley, hired a business coach, a life coach. Brad, every friggin' program under the sun. I was like, yeah. I was reading. I didn't stop for 2 seconds. I was learning
hmm
so much. And you know what? I was like,
hmm
nobody teaches this stuff in school. Nobody
Nope.
teaches us any of like, what about gratitude or
hmm
worthiness or
hmm
resilience or limiting
Yeah.
beliefs or where does it all come from or generational discord? Nobody talks about it, but it's there. And I want to share this with my kids because I wasn't a very present mother. And I also had my own generational discord that I passed on. So I said, I
hmm
want to share what I'm learning with my kids because I know they're not learning it and they definitely don't learn it in my house. So what started was I was like, okay, so if I'm going to change the conversation, how would I do that? How do I reach them? Because nobody's having in-person conversations.
hmm
Nobody. And young people are for sure not. But
No.
everybody's got this. This is neither good nor
Yes.
bad. This is just a
Yeah.
thing, a device, right? They're carrying it
hmm
in their pocket and their hands are in a pocketbook. That's everybody's got
hmm
one. And I don't care
Yeah.
how old you are, they're on it. I own a restaurant on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and people are sitting at the table taking pictures of the food and staring at their phones. And I don't know what they're doing. And I'm like, they're sitting together. So that's where people are. So I said, okay, if I want to reach my sons, I have to literally text them. People
hmm
read it. Otherwise, they're not having a call with me.
Yeah.
Even if I want to have a call with them, I have to text them, pick up the phone. Okay. They want to answer
Isn't that
all the way to
crazy?
when I read and when I ring.
It's so crazy.
So I started sharing. But what happened
hmm
was, Brad, I was reading James Clear, How to Build a Habit, because I want to do this. It's not a one and done thing. You can't say a
No.
message is going to change things yet. It's a consistent thing. I do it Monday through Friday. And it started becoming so heart-centered. I was like,
Mm.
I love you. You matter to me. You're extraordinary. I just was like, oh my God. And things were coming out. So what happened was I never set out to write a book. I never thought about this between me and my sons, but would share like, oh, like this is what I do with my sons. And every other person was like, that's amazing. You should put that in a book. And I'm like, really? I didn't write a book. I didn't write a book. I'm not an author. So I Googled editor. I asked some people like, do you know people who like edit? Because I don't know how to edit. It's all text messages. So the first book came out and it was a friends and family thing. I didn't know what I was doing. And my sons were cool. They were like, we don't want our picture on the book like that. But they were cool. And we came out book on Amazon. And I said, as time went on and I was doing some interviews, because it's a very kind of different concept and people were like, this connection thing has legs. But I was like, this could be so much better. I can do this better. Because the first book won a couple of awards, I wound up going to the American Libraries Association's conference, met a publisher, and the second book came out. Same title, Text Message to My Sons, but this is a guide to using mobile devices to connect and communicate with your kids. So I published, but more of the why we doing it. It's like each chapter has a why to it and an epilogue, and there's much more in it. Plus, there's editorial reviews, is the design, the formatting. It's the first book written in text message format, but it's formatted really beautifully. And so this book it's not a friends and family thing. It's actually like, I'm getting a lot of professional, wow, this is really important, very timely. And so it's a whole different feeling. And there's 4 years of messages in it. There's more chapters.
Wow.
There's more content. So it's more robust. It does not include my breast cancer journey, but I talk about that in relationship to how messaging my sons really impacted things, so that when I had to give them my diagnosis, they started messaging me. They turned around and they were like, we're strong. You're strong. We're the Cohens. We have this. You have this. What do you need? What can I do for you? They were doing everything. And I'm not saying they wouldn't have been supportive, but how can you message resilience?
Yeah.
And God, and everything's a gift. And it's how you look at it, and then turn around and fall apart. But they reminded me of that, right? Because of the messages. So I understood this is a full circle thing. And God had me doing all these messages to prepare me for a health battle and to connect me to myself. And then when this happened, and also being a type 1 diabetic, I understood that the message from God was like, you still have work to do, kiddo. Going. I've never stopped messaging my sons. I still do it every day. It's not like I'm going to stop, because and there's always something to say. People are like, how do you know what to say? I go, listen, once it's heartfelt, there's always something you notice. You hear. You're more present. And the truth of the matter is that I tell people, because a lot of grandparents reach out to me, they're doing with their grown grandchildren. And it's become, and I have young dads who are like, I pop that message in my family chat, and my child, I put a message in their lunchbox. I'm like, oh my God, message in the lunchbox. This is the modern message in the lunchbox. But I'm liking the movements it's creating. And I'm like, look, if you don't know what to say, I have a book. It's 215 pages of messages in categories. Just tweak it. But I promise you, after a week, you won't need me. You'll be like, boom, they'll be coming out, because you'll like notice stuff and things will start opening up your eyes. And
I love it.
The whole premise.
That is so powerful. And so how has the process of writing those texts, those messages of connection, deepened your relationship, not just with your sons, but with yourself as a mother and as a woman?
Like the ripple effect. So my sons wrote the foreword to the book.
Oh, okay, nice.
They're like, just knowing somebody loves us to do this every day and makes us bulletproof. For me, the energy, like when my day isn't okay until I send the message. I send the message, my energy level goes here. Because when you're sending love, when you're talking, when you're feeling gratitude, like the energy vibrates very high.
Yeah,
now,
absolutely.
Like I said, this is neither, what is this? It's a phone. But it has the capacity to bring a lot of negativity in. So
for sure. It's a double-edged sword.
There's so much coming at them. So my kid, when they read that message, my kids, their energy level goes up. That's what they mean when they're bulletproof, because they're receiving love. But it's even more than that. My goal, my mission in life the movement is every single person, you don't have kids, doesn't matter. Find the person, you know who that person is, that matters. Let them know they matter, that you love.
Yes.
Let them know they matter and become the beacon of light. Become the support person, the safe space. Become the pillar, okay, of support for them in a world that has a lot of negativity. Because when somebody's giving you that steady love and sharing with you, inspiring you, that stuff that's coming on the other side, that indoctrination, that hate, that misinformation, it's not going to stick.
That's right.
Because you have this and you're always going to have it. And I don't care how old you are. You want to know that your parent loved you.
Of course.
You want to know you mattered.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
We have more ways to connect than ever. And the level of disconnection, it is an all-time high.
Yep.
So disconnection, depression is disconnection and lack of purpose. Give them the connection. Because this is what people thrive on. We're human. At the end of the day, we're human. That's what we're here. We're not tech. We're not machines. And that's why you see people now, like there's a stat out there that 60% of Gen Z said they'd be fine with an AI relationship. What senior citizens who are talking to AI, why? Because AI uses your voice back. It starts talking to you in the way you want to be spoken to. You're great. How are you? Yes, I'm fine. How was your day? Like it's connection. So let's put the human back in it.
Absolutely. The human element is missing for sure. And it doesn't take much to send a text message or even a voice note, just something
I don't care.
to communicate.
It's one of the people messaged me, like, my son said, okay, you want to do this? Snapchat. I'm like, so Snapchat it is. Send a message on Snapchat. It doesn't matter. Like WhatsApp, I don't care. Like audio. You want to send an audio message? One guy did say to me, like, can AI write messages? I go, yes, AI can write your messages until you can figure out how to write a message. It doesn't matter. Do it. Just get it out.
Yeah, just start.
And I'm working on a 30-day calendar, like some things we're working on, some things with how to start the habit, the prompts, how do you open, how do you close, so people can start, okay, now I have a framework a little bit. And the book gives you some ideas. So this way you can do it and not be intimidated. My whole thing is, Brad, you have 960 minutes between you're awake between Monday and Friday, like 10 minutes a day. It's not that hard.
No, it's not. It's not at all. Not at all. But we get so caught up. Oh, I'm too busy to do this. I'm too busy. There's all these excuses. It's bullshit. It take you not even 10 minutes. All you need is 5 minutes, if that even, just to send a quick text or a voice note. It wouldn't take you but 2 minutes. You don't even need 5. And so there's no excuse. Everybody can find 2 minutes in their day to send a message to someone that they love, letting them know that you appreciate them. Thank you for being you, whatever it is. 2 minutes. Not one single person on this planet can say they don't have 2 minutes in their day. Just take the time out to send a voice note, a text message, whatever it is, just to share your gratitude and appreciation.
100%. And one of the things that I want to add to that is no expectations. It's unconditional. I've had parents reach out to me, my kids don't respond. I'm like, it doesn't matter.
No, you sent the message.
It doesn't matter.
Matters.
Like, they're reading it.
Yes, exactly.
And they might respond. My kids will tell me, first, my kids don't respond half the time. Or they'll tell me, it's a very long message. Because I get a little carried away, like when I talk. Like sometimes I'm like, it's a 12-page text. But it's, and they're just like, I'm working. It's long. Oh, sorry. But they're like, no. They'll be like, that was a pretty good message. Sometimes we'll have, like when they come over for dinner on Fridays, we'll have a conversation about a message. And they'll be like, what did you mean? That was interesting. But they're not asking me, what do you mean? It's good. Don't expect anything. It's an unconditional act. And don't worry about it. Because when you go to the next life, your kids aren't going to remember what you bought them. They're gonna miss the message.
Yep, for sure. What emotional truth did you uncover about parenting while writing the book, Text Messages to My Sons?
Wow. So one of the most meaningful messages that I think really changed our relationship were the accountability ones. Where I turned around emotionally and shared with them that all the times that I screamed, which were a lot, and yelled and carried on and was impatient and didn't want to hang out with them and just put them like watch video like over and over. And all the times I would yell was because of triggers, my triggers, because of where I came from. And it was never them. I wanted them to know, because as I was learning what happens in the first 0 to 7 years and how the tribe really affects everything we're taught, everything we believe. And your subconscious just wants to keep you alive. That's its goal, right? So you fit in and this is how it is. And even teachers, even family, extended family, friends of the family, like your friends, like everything that's coming at you, you're like, this is who I am. And I must have done something wrong. Like,
Yeah.
I would yell and had nothing to do with that. I was pissed at my husband. He triggered me, or whatever was going on. And I was tired. And I just wanted them to know. And I said, I'm sorry, because it was never you. I go, even if you did something, I could have handled it better, because I was going back to some place in my life and where I never worked it through. And I'm sorry. And you know what? That's when that was an emotional breakthrough, because they saw me as a human being, and I was able to almost forgive myself, because there was always guilt there. And I was able to forgive my parents because of where they came from and how they parented. So it was very emotionally liberating for me.
Amazing.
That where I was like, okay, let me take a moment to address my crazy and be honest with them. And they didn't look at it. And the first thing they were like, no, that's not true. And I was like, it's okay. And they saw me as a human being, not just a mother. And the other thing that I always want is that we, as parents, we tend to want validation, where I feel like, mommy, you're the best. You're the best ever. I love you so much. And when we don't hear it, or we think they're too distant, or they're too independent, like they're supposed to go and get more independent. Like, our goal as a parent is to have independent children. So from middle school to high school, to every stage, you're going to get more independent, and they're going to rely less on you, and they're not going to come to you with everything, and they're going to talk to other people. And we get, oh my God, they're like pulling away from me. And I'm like, emotionally, they're really not. They're just actually becoming independent, which is good for them.
For sure.
You don't need their validation that you're a good mommy.
No.
It's okay. And if they don't respond to you, it's okay. You're still a good person. And if you really want to address it, if you think there is a distance, you can address it in a non-judgmental way with them. So like, don't parent at them. Don't give them advice. Don't judge. Just say from where you feel, or not in a negative way, but like that you need help from them, or you want it to be best, and you love them so much, and you just want to have a beautiful whatever relationship. There's ways you can phrase it. And I do this all over the book, because you see like me being like, didn't do that so well.
If you could write a text today to your future self, what would it say?
You know what it would say? Number one, it would say, Tam, really get savvy about finances. Stop screwing around. Yeah, do it. Number one. Number two would say, you're worthy and love yourself. You are loved. You're worthy and you're loved. And you're fine. That's all. Because I never felt any of that. Worthiness, love, even safety in a lot of ways. And work, do it when you're young, your finances. This is because that's safety.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
Love and worthiness are only things you can give yourself.
Absolutely.
Like, nobody's going to give it to you. A coach I work with told me that, and it blew my mind. She goes, everybody's a child in an adult body looking for one of three things, or all three things: safety, love, and validation, worthiness. So they expect somebody else to give it to them. And when you don't, they can't deliver it because they don't feel it themselves, then they get mad. And then you bring it judging each other because you're not getting what you need. Give it to yourself. That's the only thing I would tell myself.
Okay. If your sons were being interviewed 20 years from now and were asked, what did your mother teach you about connection? What do you hope they'd say?
Such a good question. What do I hope they'd say? That our mom was a really good role model for us, because she knew it was never too late to learn, evolve, change, and to try to be better, and that she cared enough to let us know that we matter, when she never had those things. And I think that would be what they would say, like that she always was learning, wasn't afraid to try something new. And they were always my biggest cheerleaders. Like I started a podcast and found a women's business network and wrote 2 books and went to an LLC, opened an LLC and all this stuff in my late 50s.
Beautiful.
And they were like, so they'd be like, yeah, she's always trying.
Love it.
Yeah. And I think that's what they would admire about me. And that I love them enough to do that, to want to do this, to try.
Yeah. Okay. What does freedom mean to you at the very deepest level, beyond money, status, or recognition?
Freedom is just being able to wake up in the morning and do what you want. I think the most free is where you like totally tapped into your higher consciousness. And that's the work in progress, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Always.
that's where you're just the observer. When you become the real observer and nothing's really triggering you, like that is ultimate freedom.
Yeah. How do you define success? What does that word mean to you?
Oh, wow. Success is in your relationships.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think success is relationships, like love and having those beautiful relationships with people, with your family, with people. That's the most important thing for me.
Yeah. What does the word empowerment mean to you?
I think it's overused.
Okay.
Because I'm like, okay, if one more woman tells me her job is to empower other women and bring joy, I'm like, empowerment. You find your power within, and you just, whatever that is for you, whatever power. For me, empowerment means you found your passion, what lights you up, and that's empowerment.
Okay, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section. So the next grouping of questions just be 1, 2, 3 word answer type thing.
Okay.
What is your favorite place on earth?
Israel.
What is one of your secret or hidden talents?
I like to read.
Okay. If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
Love.
What is one of your guilty pleasures?
Oh my God, 40 carats frozen yogurt at Bloomingdale's.
Okay. What is one word that sums up your mindset?
Transformation.
Okay. One book that changed your life?
Oh God, there have been many books that have changed my life. Let me think about it.
One that really sticks out.
One that really stuck out for me? Think and Grow Rich.
Okay. One word that defines the woman you are becoming.
My own.
That concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I created a bonus question that I did not send you ahead of time. How do you define love, both the kind you give and the kind you receive?
Okay, so wow, that's some question. People think of love in a romantic way, and I don't. To me, love is when you know somebody's going to be there for you.
Okay.
When you know somebody cares enough to be there for you. The good and the bad. That's love.
If you were to introduce yourself to me without mentioning your occupation, where you're from, your ethnicity, your nationality, where you grew up, all of the superficial day-to-day markers that we use in everyday life, how would you introduce yourself to me?
I'm Tammy Cohen. I'm human.
Okay. If you could step into my shoes, what is one question you would have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
I can't think of one. I've been on 100 interviews. This is the most thorough and the most questions I have ever been asked. And I'm like, wow. And they were all great.
Thank you. I received that. I appreciate it.
I was like, I have to really, Her
Thank
questions
you.
all of them were amazing.
Thank you.
Like I had to think a lot. It wasn't just.
Thank you very much. That's the goal. I want my guests to walk away feeling seen and heard and that they had to think. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
Queen Elizabeth.
Okay. Why?
Because she lived so long. She lived through World War. She led people and dealt with a lot of challenges and obstacles. And she still kept her bearing. And she still did what was best for her, for her people, and for her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just found her fascinating.
Okay. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Oh, I mentioned that. Get your finances in order, girl, because life happens quick.
It does, for sure. Lastly, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your corner of the world, your tribe, your people, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
Don't sweat the small stuff. Okay. Take one step at a time. And I would really say, listen, work on your relationships. Because one day you're going to be at that age and ask your older self, did that fight really matter? Did I not do that thing because I didn't have time and money? Did that matter? Should I have done it? Talk to your future self more. Your future self will give you completely different answers than your present self. And don't waste time on stupid stuff. Just get over it.
Beautiful. Tammy, thank you so much for taking and making the time to be here with me today, for sharing a little bit about your story, your journey, the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you're doing. It was an absolute pleasure and honor to have you on the show. Thank you for being here. And I've thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. You are so inspiring, and I'm just grateful to have you as a member of the Empowerography community, to call you a friend. It has been so much fun. Thank you so much, Tammy, for today.
Brad, thank you for having me on. This was, like I said, one of the most, made me think.
I love it.
Yeah, intentionally brilliant. I was like, wow. And actually, you made me think even more. So I appreciate that. And I really thank you for having me on. Thank you so much.
My pleasure and my honor. Once again, my name is Brad Welsh, host of your Empowerography podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest has been Tammy Cohen. She is the founder and owner of TC Brand Consulting, a podcast host, the founder of Women Beyond the Table Network and Community, also an award-winning author. Thanks so much, Tammy. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
You too.
Thanks. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca, follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast, and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.